Hello everyone, this is Nick Perry at Schaefer's Investment Research with your chart slideshow for Friday, October 5th. Today I am back with my weekly check of the broad market indices. In last week's chart slideshow, we were talking about the boring action, as I called it. Basically, we had seen a pop after the Fed announcement and we were just consolidating sideways. I said, that this was boring action, but I also said it was constructive action. And we talked about the idea that you can have a time correction versus a pullback. Pullback, obviously everyone knows what that is. You have a run up and then you give back part of the gains. Time correction is where you just sort of consolidate sideways, and it basically gives buyers a chance to sort of regroup and then make another push. And when we turn to this week's charts, we see that boring action has started to play out with an upside move. Basically, you look at the SPX right there, we had the consolidation right there, and we got the pop above it, consolidated for a few days after that, and today we're seeing another push that's challenging this peak right here. As far as the Dow goes, same basic pattern as the SPX. We've got the peak there and the peak there. Last week I noted that the comp actually wasn't so much consolidating as sort of trending higher, and that's continued, and it's actually overtaken that peak there. Probably the most interesting development from this week is the rut. We talked about this resistance right here. I said that I didn't consider that bearish, at least not yet. It was just sort of consolidating right at resistance, and now we see a push above it. Okay, as far as overall takeaways, SPX and the Dow and the comp are clearly in uptrends here. We're at or above the recent peaks, so that's generally a good sign from a trend following perspective. The interesting development that I noted is we've got the rut overtaking resistance. I think that's an important point because it sort of signifies that we're seeing some participation from the smaller cap names. Those stocks represent a good number of names, that talking 2,000 stocks here. So you want to see that there's some participation at that level too, and I think we're seeing that. So as far as next week goes, I think these peaks here on the SPX and the Dow, those are going to be worth watching. We've had a pretty good run up here, so seeing some hesitation around those peaks wouldn't surprise me, wouldn't worry me either. We've got short-term support still in place here, so if we do see a pullback, you would expect it to hold above there. If this is just a shallow pullback, and you would actually expect to see hold well above there. So anyway, as far as next week goes, that's when I'm going to be watching these levels here, and also going to be watching the rut to see if it can hold above that short-term support. As always, stay tuned to the blog for further updates, and have a great weekend.